What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing NBA news from the Milwaukee Bucks, and it looks like Damian Lillard, after having spending just a handful, if you want to call it that, with the Milwaukee Bucks, has been waived by the team. This is surprising, to say the least, because you look at Lillard, even though, he went out with a horrible injury, ending his season in the playoffs. Damian Lillard, in his time in Milwaukee, was not something that, it didn't go as planned. I get that part. But when you think about a player like Damian Lillard and think about him, forcing a trade from Portland until he got to the destination that ultimately, traded for him, which was the Milwaukee Bucks. You look at a situation where now what's next for the player, and I'll get to that, right? But looking at the Milwaukee Bucks and saying to myself, you already know Giannis has came out and said, and I don't know if he said it personally, but there has been reports that he's in no way excited by this move at all. So that's something else that the team is going to have to deal with. But when you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, and I look at them, having won the championship in the last 5 years, which they did, but not with this particular roster. They go out, they trade for Lillard. In a few years, they release Lillard. They're still going to have to pay Lillard, the remainder of his salary. They just signed Miles Turner. They retain a Kevin Porter Jr., still having Kyle Kuzma, still having Giannis Antetokounmpo, still having Gary Trent Jr. That's not a championship roster. Even with Damian Lillard, that doesn't make them a championship roster. But still having Giannis Antetokounmpo, that gives them a big, component to building towards, something, because we know how dominant of a force that Giannis is. But when I look at this move to release and waive a player like Dame Lillard, it just screams no loyalty whatsoever when it comes to teams, franchises, and things like that. But we have to say it like it is, right? The NBA is a business, and the Bucks thought this was the best business move out there for them. And I get why, he may, the team may be thinking that, like I said, the injury that Lillard is dealing with is not one where he'll turn around and come back, 6 months into the season. This is an injury where he may possibly miss the entire basketball season and maybe some of the next season. We know Lillard is not young. We know that for sure. But when he's coming off a season where he was averaging, respectful numbers, it's not like he was a shell of himself. And I know at times him and Giannis were trying to figure it out, ultimately, which led to Chris Middleton being dealt last season. And you look at the remainder of the year, they did lose in the playoffs to the Indiana Pacers, who ultimately went to the NBA Finals. But this move, made by the Bucks to waive Lillard at a time where, right now, I'm not going to say kick a player while he's down, but the cards are now in Lillard's favor. He can now move on to a team, that wants to acquire his services and for pretty cheap. So he's in one of those situations where things may all work out for him in the end. You look at a situation where now you're going to be paid to stay home until a team ultimately, signs you. You can rehab at your own discretion, and you don't have to, be at a facility and things. You can do all of those things on your own. So I think Lillard is in a great spot, and I think any team any team out there in the NBA that's going to be willing to, wait it out, wait till he comes back and see what they get from him, will be in a good position. And I know Damian Lillard is leaning towards that, 40-year-old group. But when you look at him, and like I said, you look at his NBA career, you look at what he's capable of on the floor, I'm saying to myself, when he does finally get back, I think whatever team ultimately signs him is definitely going to be better off with him than without him. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. NBA fans, basketball fans, Damian Lillard fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into the channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.